I'm now speaking with Dr. Michael Klare, who's a Five College Professor of Peace and World Security Studies at Hampshire College, a journalist and author of 13 books. His latest is Rising Powers, Shrinking Planet, The New Geopolitics of Energy. And he's a regular contributor to The Nation, for which he's the defense correspondent, Tom Dispatch, Mother Jones, Foreign Policy in Focus, and others. He has an article at Tom Dispatch entitled, Welcome to 2025, American Preeminence is Disappearing 15 Years Earlier, which is a striking assessment of the great superpower meltdown. Now, Dr. Klare, your recent study takes off from a CIA report from the National Intelligence Council, does it not?
That's right. In 2008, just a year ago, the National Intelligence Council, which is part of the national intelligence community, issued a report called Global Trends 2025 for the incoming Obama administration, laying out the world as they saw it in 15 years from now, what the world would look like. And they predicted in this report that while the United States would remain the world's most powerful nation, it would have substantially less power compared to rising powers like China than it does today.
Well, there was an interesting meeting that took place in Yekaterinburg in Russia, which was, of course, the scene of when the Bolsheviks murdered the Shah, and at the very time when Ahmadinejad had stolen the election in Iran, he went and met with Medvedev, the Russian president, and the Chinese president, and there was a sense that perhaps there is a kind of global alliance forming against the United States. Is that a part of your prediction?
I wouldn't say all of these alliances are necessarily against the United States in a hostile form. What they're saying is that the United States can no longer dictate to the rest of the world as it has been accustomed to doing, especially during the Bush administration, but even before then. But now the United States must recognize that it's only one power among others, and it has to share power with these rising countries, negotiate with them, and accept a diminished power position in the world.
Well, it seems to me that the price we pay for Cheney and Bush's incompetence and the precipitous decline of American power by these pointless, worthless wars in Iraq and the incompetent prosecution of going after al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, which was all but defeated and eliminated, and then in the overall context of the other war, which is the global war on terror, which is inherently dysfunctional because you can't go to war against a tactic. The price that we could be paying is that if China, Russia, and Iran, for example, get together and pool their resources, they can also, work with some nasty actors around the world. Not that the Iranians are anything but one of the nastiest regimes on the planet. And it'll be a huge setback. I mean, in other words, everything that the United States is supposed to stand for will be eradicated. And that's what that I most find disgusting about Bush and Cheney, is that by crossing the line and torturing and diminishing the respect that the world had for the United States, it's been the best thing that ever happened to these thugs like Ahmadinejad and Mugabe and the generals that oppress the people of Burma, etc., etc.
Well, I would say I largely agree with you, but I think that future historians will look back at that period and they may conclude that the bigger destruction that the Bush-Cheney administration did to America was economic deregulation that allowed the giant banks and the other financial organizations to concoct these financial instruments without any security, leading to the global financial bubble and the economic meltdown, because I do believe that it's a combination of what you're talking about, the catastrophic nature of the war in Iraq and how that's robbed our treasury on one hand, but if you combine that with the economic loss we've suffered in the past year as a result of the economic crisis, these two combined are what is leading to the rapid, precipitous diminution in America's power worldwide.